How are we gonna do this? Whew. Hey, this is Johnny. You may know me from the OSA Pod. This is the ASO, Another City Opinion Pod. Sponsored by Culture Capsule, and this is my co-host.
It's your girl Teresa, aka Risa Rants. We in
Okay.
this thing. We in here. What's up, Johnny?
Sup. All right. This pod, like, I'm going to go into a light introduction. It is basically a pod about the culture. Two people giving you our perspectives. Regular people giving you our perspectives on everything that goes on in culture, from movies, music, everything, entertainment wise, even to the real shit, the real stuff. We're gonna talk about the real stuff. Life happens, and we all have our opinions, and hopefully you vibe out to our opinions. You like our opinions, so
Even if
hopefully
it's
tune
shitty or
in.
not.
Shitty or not, or real or not, come vibe out. So as we're gonna go, um, March, we had a few things in March that took place entertainment wise. Some things that were popular in the news, but one of the main things in March was the celebration of the 1 year anniversary of the whole pandemic, the lockdown, the 1 year anniversary, and
The
how
celebration. As far as it's a nightmare.
yeah, you can say that, but it's changed a whole. I feel like it's changed a whole lot. It has a huge impact on how everything is done now. From from everything, like I don't know if movie theaters, they would be the same eventually, but
Well, everything is either it's state by state. So like today I saw like a lot of places with 25% capacity. I think the city, like New York City, is like almost full capacity now, or I could be wrong, like maybe half. And I just actually got back from Miami, and it was very lax. You know what I'm saying? It's obviously a warmer state, but the mask mandate isn't as
it's Florida.
serious there. Like people are more like casual now with Rona. And it's a little scary, but then at the same time, it's like if you're gonna get it, you're gonna get it. A mask is really not gonna help you,
That's
in my
true.
opinion.
Actually, I went to Puerto Rico in March, like last month. Went to Puerto Rico. I had to take the actual test where they stick it all the way in your nose to go to Puerto Rico. So that very uncomfortable. I'm not gonna lie. When this pandemic started, I followed the rules. I don't know everybody else did. I followed the rules. I played the crib. I didn't travel, do nothing too much. I followed the rules. So I'm not gonna lie, taking that test was very uncomfortable, but you have to test negative. Puerto Rico won't even allow you into Puerto Rico if you didn't test negative.
And
But
then you probably have to self quarantine when you got back, right?
nah,
No. Oh, okay.
going there is much stricter than coming back. Coming back, you're good. I was fine, but they in Puerto Rico they made sure like if you entered or you want to talk to like someone from the hotel, the resort, you have to have your mask on. Go to certain
Okay.
places, you
Yeah.
have to have the mask on. But if you're at the beach or the pool, it wasn't.
Yeah, that's how it was in Miami. Like even like going in and out, like going around the restaurants or bars where we were, it was still more outside also, but it was like, oh, like you're supposed to wear your mask to go to the bathroom. And it's like it's not gonna stop when I get to my seat when I take it off to eat. Same thing with the plane. It's like you can take your mask off to eat your snacks and stuff that they come through the aisles with, but it's like if Rona's a thing, how is this helping? I guess it's supposed to be less likely to contract or pass it on, but either way, like I said,
Yeah.
if you're
At that point, I feel like it's like uh, you're trying to let everything build up, so it's like you want
right,
slowly open it, but it's get stuck because each state is different. Some states are still masked
right,
on 6 feet. Do that.
yeah,
I feel
and
like
like in the
I feel like
beginning,
the warmest states is the ones that's like it's hot outside. Really
right,
fuck
but
about
that's
that.
also because they want to make money. They don't want people to stop going out spending money. But like
That's key.
in the beginning of the pandemic, I had my baby, so I was in the house anyway, just because I had just had a baby. So it kind of worked out, and I ended up getting more time off of work, and then I ended up actually not even wanting to go back and starting my own business. So that made more sense to me at the time. And a lot of people did that. So it was almost like a blessing in disguise because some people ended up finding out like the things that they like to do or like following in their passions and starting things that they didn't have time to, or maybe not time, but even the drive to do it before. Like it was make it or break it. Like now you had to,
Right.
a lot of people were are on unemployment, and or whatever, like whatever the circumstances. A lot of people are not it wasn't how it used to be. Everybody's not getting that same standard check that they were getting, like state stability and like the weekly, bi-weekly payments. So it's like, what are you supposed to do at this point? So a lot of people chose to actually hustle and make money, and so it's a blessing in disguise.
Not to hustle, but that's definitely facts. Because pandemic definitely opened Zoom boom throughout this pandemics. People people see other people going to like the podcast world or their own version of like something they could do from home.
Right, exactly.
Versus came through the pandemic, the birth of Versus, and it's been
Oh, that's true. Yeah, and we
the
needed
birth of
Versus.
Versus was very, very entertaining throughout the pandemic. At
Yeah.
first, they had them in the separate rooms, and when it got a little better, they brought them together.
Right.
I feel like the ones when they brought them together were the better ones.
Yeah, but that's it's the small things now. People actually, it's like almost it's forced us to have gratitude for what we do have, because there's people that were way worse off than like you and I. You feel me? So I know, like for instance, like kids not going to school. Some kids only have meals when they go to school.
That's true.
You feel me? So it's a lot. Like it's like the good and the bad that came with it. You feel me? And I just feel like you got to be grateful for what you do have. So that definitely was a reminder, like, what I'm saying, when you have to stay in the house, and then also test your mental health and relationships and stuff like that. So it's one of those things where you just gotta take it day by day and pace yourself.
So I'm not gonna lie, I am a house body, but when it got to a certain point, like, damn, I can't. If I want to go outside, I can't go outside and just walk. Like enjoy like good days. Like I have no problem playing the crib, but it's like, man, I want to go outside just to go outside. I don't gotta, socialize nothing.
I get dressed up to go to Target.
Just walk around.
I literally was like, to the point where I was like, I have to go somewhere, and this is the only place I can go, and I can't. You know what I'm saying? I'm usually in my pajamas all day. Like I'm gonna get dressed up to go to Target. I don't care.
Nah, I understand.
Here I come.
Got to that point, it's like, all right, we respect it, but it's like, all right, we just want to go outside. Especially, New York, winter be shitty, but then that spring starts to hit, them 70s and 80s, you want to just go outside, enjoy it, because New York, it'd be cold in the wintertime. We have our cold winters.
And then the seasons be all over the place. Just recently, we had days where it did feel like we were going into like late spring, early summer, and then it went right back to winter. So you gotta be careful out there. I have to take Zyrtec all the time now. This pollen is on high, and it's like corona and allergies. And then wearing a mask, now that it's warmer too, it's like you're sweating underneath your mask. It's not healthy at all in the first place, and then it's just not good for your skin. Like I'm just not feeling it. Like corona is so ghetto. Like I just wanted it to just be done and be over with.
We're almost there, but at least just know where we came from. It was a year ago. It was a year lockdown to now. We're moving. It's moving.
If I had $1 for every time I walk out the house and forget a mask.
Oh, that's happened
every time. Or every time I drop my mask and now I need a new one or whatever. And then you can't keep reusing them. So you've got to keep, they're disposable, but not really if you think about it, because you got to keep switching it. But then think about it. If the mask was really helping you be safe from corona or whatever, shouldn't there be like bins for like the used ones, like to go into like a hazard bin?
That would.
You understand what I'm saying? Because it's like
makes sense. I've definitely seen my fair share of used masks on the streets
all over the place. It's like the new pollution. It's the new, you know what I'm saying? It's the new like trash litter.
Yeah, but
it's like masks and gloves. Remember when gloves was the thing that everybody said, wear gloves?
Yeah.
And everything was sold out. You couldn't find hand sanitizer. You couldn't find alcohol. You couldn't even find freaking Lysol wipes.
Yeah, that's how it was in the beginning. Now,
and toilet paper.
It's getting normal. The lines.
I don't think we're ever gonna go back to like how it was, because I know too much. 1, 2. I just feel like this is all part of a plan. So it's like at the end of the day,
I agree.
Whether we decide to be the sheep or to be the shepherd, is up to each of us individually. And at this point, it's like, if you don't open your eyes now,
just our best advice is just to wake up and really start seeing stuff for what they really
I
are.
just say do your research. That's how I feel about everything. Like we might as well, since we're talking about corona, talk about the vaccine.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
I am not getting any type of prick unless they hold me down and give it to me.
I definitely agree with you. I've been saying this for the longest of time. I don't trust the vaccine. I feel like it came too fast. I'm not a scientist, but it came too fast.
And it's just been so many things that people they're saying that people are dying from it. It's making people sterile. So like they're trying to like depopulate us, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I actually just saw a video that led me to do my own research. And I read an article that said that women like me who can still menstruate and have kids are now being affected by not even getting the vaccine. But if I'm around somebody who has had the vaccine, it's making those women have problems with their like cycle. And basically like some women have been sterile now just from being around somebody else that's had the vaccine.
You know, it's crazy. I've actually thought about that. I hadn't really researched that, but I really thought about like, yo, all right, I'm not trying to get the COVID vaccination, but if I'm around someone with a COVID vaccine, how would that affect like our
but it's not even like it's protecting people from stuff. It's actually making people die and making people sick. Like I don't know anybody personally to say that, like, you know what I'm saying, that I personally see somebody that died from the vaccine, but I definitely know that I have been reading a lot of articles, and you know, like they say you can't believe everything you read and media and everything, but it's more so like what's not on mainstream media was what I pay attention to.
No, that's the
they
one thing, because that's usually more of the truth when it's not mainstream media. Mainstream media has like their own agenda,
what they choose, right?
yeah.
Their own way of what they want you to see. Yeah,
But
it's just their own. Everything is for their own profit.
But I definitely read an article talking about, there's been a few deaths related to
Right.
the vaccinations, but they don't want to like connect them. But the vaccination is a possible cause of death. They ain't not
Right.
really connecting them.
The same thing with corona. They said, oh, it could be it's corona related death. Like if somebody was having like a heart attack during corona, especially like when it first started happening, they were just saying, oh, you died from corona. Somebody got in a car accident. Oh, they died of corona. And so it's like you don't even know, the numbers be all over the place. You don't even know like what.
One thing I could say is I don't think the corona was a hoax. I don't think it was, because some people.
No, it wasn't a hoax, but it was part of a plan.
But I definitely feel
beginning of
the deaths was definitely, the numbers was ran up on certain deaths. Like say you was already sick and you happen to catch it in the hospital, you was probably on the way out, but now they add you to, if you catch it in the hospital, they just add you. You're another statistic. That's just how I felt.
And I saw videos of like nurses and doctors crying and saying like they were just changing it in the computer, just going under people saying just changing corona positive, changing test results. People were getting test results in the mail that had never taken a test, saying that they were positive. So it's definitely all part of a plan.
One of the craziest things I've heard, I forgot, was it a celebrity or it was someone I think it was a celebrity. They had gotten tested, but they tested positive in one nostril and then the other nostril.
Yes, I did see that.
Mm-hmm. I was like, I don't know how that works. I'm not a scientist. Don't know how it works. But when I read that, I'm like, how does that, like, I don't understand how that works. You have it in one nostril and don't have it in the other, but hey.
That's how you know. And then they were also saying that a lot of them were false positives. A lot of the tests were also defective. Mm-hmm. The same thing with like the vaccine itself. Like it was just a lot,
Also, and, Johnson & Johnson had that they have to recall their vaccination shot. So that's another thing. If I also, from my understanding,
it was causing blood clots. People were getting irregular blood clots.
It was affecting women. It was women. But with that, to me, aren't they using the same materials, or are they distributing different?
That's one thing too. Like, how there's a vaccine for a new a new disease, one, and then it's a new vaccine, but then y'all have different companies making their own versions of the vaccine. Like, it, to me, it's just crazy.
So
Like,
that's okay. Cause I was like, if they're gonna recall Johnson Johnson, shouldn't all the other ones recall? So they each make
no,
their
they're
own
different
version.
companies that make different ones. That's why there's some vaccines you get one time, and there's a one that you have to get 2 doses of it.
And
So there's different.
also, I don't know if it was this week or last week. There was a report that they're saying now. One company was saying now you might need a third shot. It was 2 shots, but now you might need a third shot.
But then they're also saying people that had the vaccine are either getting corona still or giving it to other people. So what
Actually,
is
there
the
are
point?
cases, I've read about a few cases where someone who was vaccinated was diagnosed within a few days having tested positive for the corona. So it's a very interesting topic. I believe everyone should pay attention to. Just pay
And
attention
I'll
to
keep
the
that
facts.
updated whenever I read.
Mhm. Just pay attention to the facts. Don't let these scientists manipulate you. Obviously, they get paid to do what they do, but just pay attention
Yeah.
to
And I don't
all
like
the
being
facts.
labeled a conspiracy theorist, but I do believe that anything that is labeled itself, been labeled as a conspiracy theory, is usually a lot of truth behind
There's
it.
some fire
So,
to it. It's not no. It's some
and
fire.
nobody just pulled it out the side of their ass.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But
um,
definitely,
but yeah, some more sad news, a little on the heavier side. We lost DMX,
which is very
and
unfortunate.
rest in
Very
peace.
unfortunate.
And
RIP
also
DMX.
within now a week now, we lost Black Rob.
Mm-hmm.
So
But
definitely rest in peace, Black Rob. That rest in peace, DMX.
yeah, rest in
Um,
peace both. It was just I'm not gonna lie. Did you see the video of like Black Rob talking about when the news of DMX broke out when he was rushed to the hospital? Did
yeah,
you,
yeah.
when I seen that video, I'm like, damn, he actually looked really sick. I'm like,
He looked really, really sick. Like, I felt bad, and everybody was saying, where's Diddy and where's this person, where's that person, but where have they been? Because he didn't look like he just got sick. He looked like it had to be something that was like ongoing. And I hate when people do say, where's this person and where's that person, in terms of like an adult, because at the end of the day, he is an adult. And I'm not sure exactly, like, I don't know enough to speak on it too much, but I do know, like, if somebody looks like that they didn't just get sick.
they've been
And I
sick for a
feel
while. Mm-hmm.
whoever was supposed to be his loved ones should have been maybe around to like help him more. But yeah, he did not look good.
I
And
think
then
I can't confirm. I think it's also from like what social media and YouTube videos is. There's speculation of him being homeless. I don't know the true.
and even that's something that, like, how are you homeless and you're, what I'm saying, where's the people that was, I'm sure he had a posse, I'm sure he had, what I'm saying, or family, something, because that, like, how do you go from, what I'm saying, like, all of the songs that he was just popular not that long ago. But I mean, things can change overnight, of course, in anybody's live. But I just feel like
Well,
it's funny when, what I'm saying,
yeah,
it's like
yeah,
that's what everybody was saying.
yeah, it's wrong, but obviously you can't when someone gets sick and it's like a sickness that is like when it's like it's
And I'm
time.
not sure if it was like had anything to do with mental illness or not, but I do know DMX struggled with addiction for a long time. And I saw the interview of him telling the story of how somebody, his mentor that he looked up to, somebody he trusted,
Someone who was
laced his
older,
blunt
yes.
at 14 with crack, which is so messed up. And like,
Definitely.
I feel like he never really got a chance to be a kid, because once something like that happens to you, your innocence to take it from you without you actually giving it up, like,
more stronger drugs that
right.
have been made.
But I do know that they were saying he overdosed, but I've seen him a lot lately, not just like on TV, but just even in just Westchester, and he's been looking clean for a long time. He looks healthy. Even he just did Versus. He just did Drinking Champs and a whole bunch of other things I saw him on, and he looks good.
He did the Drink Champs.
But then I heard that he got a vaccine just like less than a week ago.
That's a theory that was that was a theory that was thrown out there. I don't know.
But they say, like, if you've had it was almost like a coin toss for someone who's had prior, I guess, like, ailments or whatever, because technically they're giving you a virus to hope that your body can fight it off, to be able to fight off a bigger push. That's, you know, just like the flu shot. That's why I haven't been getting the flu shot probably since the last time I got it. It was probably like middle school, if that. And but if you're somebody whose immune system is already compromised, or, you know what I'm saying, you just haven't been the healthiest person your whole life, and now you're trying to be on a healthy track, and then you take a vaccine, that definitely could do
Yeah,
something.
that definitely could play a role, but
Right.
I don't know. I don't know. You know, certain people probably love him, and they rather blame that than what actually. But I don't know the
I
true
think the
facts behind it.
media would rather say it's overdose because they always try to make, you know, people of color look like addicts and
Definitely, definitely. When I first heard the news, I was like, I don't know, maybe it wasn't thing. It was probably a heart attack from all the stuff that
well,
he
it did
did.
say it was a heart attack. So that's what I'm saying. I don't think it was a heart attack because of drugs. I think something else, you know what I'm saying? But I can't say, don't take my word for it. I don't know. I wasn't
Yeah,
there. But it's just
he
what
has
from the
issues.
information I've seen and read and heard, like that's my take on it.
But he definitely has issues. But if he overdosed, is unfortunate. Well, they say it's overdose. That's the. I don't know if they're gonna report an autopsy or autopsy ever gonna come out. So his obviously, so if autopsy never
Mhm.
comes, that's what his death will be. Overdose. Then overdose caused a heart attack. So. But unfortunately, we lost one of the all-time greats at the age of 50. But he always had that, he always had that trouble since he was 14. So,
Yeah. But
it,
definitely rest in peace to DMX.
mm-hmm.
Rest in peace to Black Rob. You would definitely keep being influenced and inspired by their music and
They will
any
always live on
knowledge
forever.
that they've passed on, because they definitely were trying to tell a story.
That Black Rob came from he's did what he did in the era. And DMX also came from
Yeah,
different era
definitely.
music.
And like DMX to this day is still being sampled. Like Drake just sampled his song on like his, I think not the last album, but the album before.
Also,
But
at
yeah,
least we got to see that performance on Versus, which was my favorite
definitely
Versus.
it was definitely a celebration, and it was almost like it came just in time. Like it was like his last hoorah before he ended up taking his last bow.
Well, it was definitely.
But he's always been in the community. Like we used to see him like wipe all of the white planes, you know what I'm saying? Like he still, it was always in the community. Like he been in Mount Vernon, Yonkers, he was all over Westchester. And you always hear stories that he was such like a compassionate, giving person. You know what I'm saying? He was very generous, just his love and just like his energy.
From the outside looking in, there's a lot of celebrities that get praised that shouldn't be praised, but I feel like DMX was one of those celebrities that was more than just a celebrity. It was more.
Right.
It was just more. Like that's how.
And that just teaches us that we gotta give people their flowers while they're here. We can't wait because you never know what's gonna happen.
That's definitely facts.
Yeah.
Tomorrow isn't promised, so. Fortunately, both guys, sad news in the hip hop community and, overall for the culture. Well, let's transition to some more controversy. Also, like towards the end of the month, that came out, Lil Nas dropped his, he dropped his video. He dropped his video and he dropped his sneaker.
A bit of a lighter side there, but still heavy at the same time.
It stirred some controversy. I watched the video one time. I seen clips of it. I was like, the video looked crazy. But
I had to see it to know what was being spoken of, but I didn't need to watch it after that once. And I think it was almost like that's what he was going for. Like, even if you're not a fan and you didn't like it, you still watched it to see what people were talking about. And that's what a troll does. So it's like, even if me and you together only watched it once, that's 2 views that he got. Mm-hmm. How many people watched it one time just to see what was talking about? Mm-hmm. So he knew what he was doing and he achieved just that, which was
Lil Nas definitely viral. The video, I watched it one time, and off the video, I understood his the stuff he tried to paint. Like, obviously, growing up, we hear the bad stuff about, especially when it comes to religion, how religion feels about, gay people and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But
the LGBT community, it's more so.
He just wanted to deliver his message.
It's more so upsetting, not because he did what he did or he's doing what he's doing, more so because he knows who he's influencing, which are our children. And he's even admitted to that, and he continues to still be a troll. So you're trolling who? Because if you're saying you know that children are your audience, but yet you're trolling, who are you trolling? The children? Because you're trolling adults, but you know what I'm saying? It just all over the place. It makes no sense. And it was like,
no, when it comes to
what you're
music,
saying, you know, whatever your sexual purposes, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter to me. But also, I'm gonna need you not to become the devil. That's two different things that don't go together.
you know,
Like,
also when
you
it comes
just
to
being
music
extra.
and artistry, you know, a couple of artists tend to tiptoe between going too far or whatnot. They walk that line, excuse me.
Well, it's in 2021, people literally will do anything. You know what I'm
But
saying? And
now is we have clout demons. What people do for views, it's like very heavy, and that's
and
just
these sneakers, let's talk about the sneakers. So the
oh,
Air Max, the colorway is fire, black and red, right? You went extra with the 666 and the this and the that. I mind you, he could have even got away without the 666 and the clear symbol of Satan or whatever on it. If he hadn't not put that and not put the 666 and just put like the Luke, whatever scripture that was, most people probably would have still bought it just to get away with wearing that because it was a nice Air Max. But then you turn around and end up, now here's my thing. Is Nike now suing him because the backlash, or was this really all they were a part of it from the beginning?
going depending on publicity, always controversy stirs up to bring money in. So yeah, maybe that is something that they worked out or whatnot.
Because he seemed very unbothered on Twitter when he posted his tweet, which was like a little meme, basically saying that he was gonna go broke after the
man, he's
trolling him. So
bro.
That's my point. He's trolling, but you know that your audience, like, you're doing too much. Like, and the song don't even be good. Like, I don't like none of his songs. Like, I heard some Panini something.
That was the second
like
song
you make songs sound catchy so children will like it. And he's like, oh, you know, I get what he's saying, where it's like you allow your children to listen to what they listen to, mind you, right? Same thing with like Cardi B and the WAP song. She said the same thing. I don't make music for children, right? But when you're saying that and you know that that's who your audience is, then maybe tell the children, hey, my music is for adults, or something. Like you're like continuing, you know what I'm saying, to get
advisory warning, like a advisory
or something.
warning, like
and the people that are letting their kids listen to him and don't even realize what they're singing, like, they need to get it together. Like, that's part of parenting. Like, no, that's not good.
But I think what drove people crazy about the sneakers was the drop of human blood is what set people
because he tried to make the Satan version of the actual Air Max that had came out that was like blue and white, and it was like an angel inspired, like heaven one or something. And those were actually nice. I wish I knew the actual name of it, which I should have in front of me, but only sneakers behind me, even though they're not mine. but it was just like, you know, you above and beyond is not even the term. Like, I don't even know.
We're in the era of the trolls, and obviously troll, he got his views, he got what he wanted. You know, stir controversy has always been the thing with artists, to build up views or build up, you know, have people talk about you. It's always been a thing. It's just a matter of, you know, with the content that they put out, is it really worth all the controversy that?
And it's like, you got to know you're representing a generation. You know what I'm saying? He's a young Black man. So with the way that things are in the world now, with, you know, how we're treated, not just going on now, what we've been dealing with, but what's more apparent now because of social media and the internet, with police brutality, it's almost like, if anything, you should be using your platform, because of, you know, who your audience is and who pays attention to you, to put something positive out, especially now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going viral for the wrong reason. You could be so much bigger, and you're spending your earning potential could be so much better if you were putting something out that could actually be marketed better in a more positive way. So it's like, we have people getting shot and killed in the street, or there's a million things going wrong in the world, and you choose to use your platform. And mind you, not saying don't make happy music, not saying don't make party music, and, you know what I'm saying, like, we all want to work, we all want to have fun, but when you, like you said, when you step over the line of, now it's like, I mean, I guess it's everybody's level and like a shitty opinion on what's acceptable, what's acceptable, what's vulgar, what's too much, what's,
Yeah, I feel like
you know what I'm
at
saying,
this point
what's
everyone has
PG.
different
Yeah,
variants of
right. Because you can
what's too
go
much.
on Netflix nowadays and see titties. Like just where, like I walked in on my stepson before watching Black Lightning or something, and it was like titties, and I'm just like looking, and it's like, damn, I can't even be mad. It's Black Lightning, so of course he's gonna want to watch it as a 14-year-old kid, but not even realizing titties is like in it, like normal. You know what I'm saying? Where before you had to Google it or go find a special website, but now it's just everywhere. So it's like everything is so hypersexual now. And if you're a young Black man and leading a generation of people to come after us, use your platform for something positive. That's all. That's how. That's the only thing I'm saying. Yeah, make the cute little throwaway songs, make the little pop songs, a little woo party. You know what I'm saying? But try to have some kind of like of a positive message, something that's constructive.
One thing I can say is, well, to him, he's for what he's representing, he feels like he is sending a positive message. Just for for his perspective, the people.
There's a way to say be yourself and be who you want to be, and there's a way of saying that you sleep with Satan, and then you became Satan at the end. Like what? It's because he's covering it up with trying to say, oh, I'm LGBT, and if you don't like me, it's because you don't like, you don't support. That has nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, like mind you, I'm LGBT. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, even as a person of the community, I can say that one has nothing to do with the other. If you want to be whatever sexual orientation you want to be, that's fine. It's your business. But saying be who you want to be and be yourself has been said in that way and other creative ways without people going to hell and grinding on Satan.
Your main issue is just basically like, you do what you got to do, but you know your target audience and you know what your audience is, and you should
But
be.
even if your audience is adults, who wanted to see him slide down the pole and go to hell and twerk on Satan? I didn't ask for that.
Well, I'm pretty sure there's a group of people that enjoyed that music.
And it's 666 people who agree with that, and that's about it.
There's people that enjoy that video, not everybody's gonna like it, but I'm pretty sure he had his people that enjoyed it, and the people that just watched it just because how controversial it was.
Exactly.
People to watch it, but I'm pretty sure he has a group of people out there that enjoyed it and loved every second of that video. Now we're gonna transition to I think it was last week. Show came out, but after it came out through Amazon Prime, but it was trending on social media about a specific scene on the show. I'm not gonna lie, I watched the show. It's called Them. It was released as like a horror anthology series.
That's a good show to watch, and we almost clicked on it last night, and then I saw that it looked like something with like Black people being treated like slaves or something like that, and I'm tired of seeing so many slave or like civil rights things because white people don't make money off of our oppression. But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying is I don't know what that show is because I didn't watch it, but I want to know what you're talking about. So go ahead.
I'm gonna explain it. I watched 7 episodes. I didn't finish it yet. I binge watched 7 episodes. It's a 10 episodes anthology series. Basically, it's about a family. I think it takes place in the 50s. They moved to all white neighborhood.
Right.
So there's racist tension. They're the only Black family in the neighborhood. All the white people not really feeling them. So it's like, and then there's like a little haunting. It's supposed to be a horror thing.
Oh, I remember now. So it's like the white lady, she's like pulling all the white people together, like they need to get out of our neighborhood, right?
Basically,
They just bought their house. Oh, okay, so yeah, I did see the commercials to that before it came out. Like I kept seeing the ad for it, and now I know. Okay, so now I remember. I do want to watch that.
It's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting, but what got everyone talking was the 5th episode. It's a certain scene where it's like
spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert for those who didn't see it. It's an anthology series, but the scene, basically what takes place is the family that moved in. The mother has a flashback to the place they lived before they moved to the town. And what happens was when her husband takes the kids to school, she has a son, pretty much infant, and these white people pull up, 3 white guys and a white lady. They beat her up, basically. They rape her, and they kill the baby. But it's like the way it's like they put the baby in like a pillowcase and like they like cut the
Okay.
circulation off.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
It's a fucked up scene, but that's why it generated conversation because how the scene went like that as they was killing the baby, the mother was being and it's like damn, that shit is really fucked up. So it's like one of those. It's like are they doing? It's one of those. Obviously, it's a TV show, but are they doing too much? Are they
They're doing
not?
too much because what that does is that's triggering. So they put stuff like that on purpose because let me tell you, two people that watch that, it's either a person of color or a black person that's going to see that and feel the trauma from that. Because even though that's a fictional thing, stuff like that did really happen. And if you're a person of color or a person that has any type of empathy, you're going to still feel for those people that have come before us that go through shit like that, that went through shit like that. One. Two is for the white people or the oppressors. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I don't care who's offended. It is what it is. You can call it my shitty opinion or not. It's fact to me that our oppressors continue to make money off of our oppression. So it's almost like, oh yeah, I want to see that if I'm a person that's
Quick thing,
racist.
yeah,
You
quick
feel
thing
me?
with that. What also made it worse was for that specific episode, it was written and directed by a black woman. So that's also what drove people a little more to the
Okay, so maybe that was her way of trying to say, okay, look, this is what happened to us. But to me, it's just trying to make profit off of it because at the end of the day, and of course, there's always going to be the people that want to still make money off people of color. I mean, there was people of color selling other people of color. So even to this day in other countries, you know what I'm saying? But it's more so like, why do y'all want to keep pushing it in our face? Why does it keep like, oh, remember this, remember racism, remember this, remember slavery, remember this, remember lynching? It's like you constantly bomb hear it. Like I can't go on social media without seeing somebody get shot and or whatever the case is. You feel me? So it's almost like it might be a good story, it might be a good show, but do I want to keep exposing my energy to that? Do I want to keep putting myself through that? Because that's traumatic. Like even when you just explained that to me, I felt like I was in that room and I heard the baby crying and I heard, you know what I'm saying, all of that happening. So it's almost like reliving it because that's literally what you do when you mentally put yourself in that space. Because I'm a very empathetic person, you feel me? So it's almost like you're making yourself go through that over and over again. Every time you go on Instagram and you see a video of somebody getting pulled up on or shot or stabbed or whatever, that's triggering. And they like that shit. So it's at the end of the day, you have to know what's too much for yourself. Like I said, I want to watch it, but then it's like now that you told me that, I don't even know if I can. I had started watching something called Handmaid's Tale. I got through like 3 episodes before I said, this is a good show, but it's like it's making me feel away too. So I don't know if I really want to watch it because I don't want to be in the mood that it was
read
putting.
like the reaction on social media. I'm like, I'm gonna give a show a try because I definitely seen the trailers built like leading up to when before it came out. I didn't know it came out though. It was like a week or so, but it came out I think like on Wednesday or Thursday, most likely Wednesday. So like that weekend, like Friday, Saturday, I'm like, I'm gonna watch these episodes. It's a little slow pace. Then when it gets to that episode, obviously it tells you like some fucked up shit happens, and then when you watch it's like it's like no, that scene is actually like real crazy. In my opinion, that was a crazy scene. I didn't know what to expect on that, but the way like it did it's that I can see like you said it would be triggering to certain people. Like it would be triggering. It was a fucked up scene. They definitely took it as far as they could go. The message for the scene, I don't know what the message was, but
I think that's what I'm saying. If it was given the benefit of the doubt, since she was a Black woman, maybe she's trying to show
how fucked up it really was at a certain
right.
point.
But we already know that too. So that's why I said it's almost like a saturation of trauma. Like, do we really need to keep seeing it over and over and over and over again? And then knowing who's making money from it, it's a network. Who is who? The oppressors. So
yeah, because it's a Amazon original. So if you have Amazon Prime Instant, they got their own original content. So TV shows and movies.
Open your third eye.
So also,
All right. So moving on to
moving on to something funny. Something light, funny, but also
funny
life.
that I still am a little confused about.
So we're gonna go with the something that happened recently that's affecting the culture. We all know Paul Pierce is the true basketball player, but
I didn't know who he was until this happened, but I got.
but he's been working for ESPN. ESPN is owned by Disney, so
Right, I got that part.
so
Mm-hmm.
know who he worked for, and what they cater to. Disney's definitely child everything for children, straight children,
Right.
keep everything
And any
PG.
company you work with, they'll tell you, even on social media, when you're not at work, you represent that company when you're known to work for that company. So
So
yes.
my man's Paul Pierce having a good time. I think he's grown. He do what he wants, but you gotta know who you're working for. Maybe he didn't care. He's on live smoking. Weed's legal majority of states now. I know New York legalized it like a month ago or a couple of weeks ago. It's been legal in New York, but Paul Pierce smoking that shit, enjoying himself, and he has some strippers.
Whatever he was smoking, it looked good. He could have passed it to me, but I don't know if I would have wanted that blunt. Well, that ass that was in the air. It was a lot of twerk air in the surroundings. It was a lot of twerk juices in the atmosphere. But I mean, like, he's gonna do what they do. I mean, NBA sports people, NFL, whatever, they had that kind of lifestyle. But just because we know that is even more of a reason why you don't need to show us that. And even more of a reason why, if you work for a company like Disney, technically under that umbrella of that, you need to keep that to yourself and have fun behind closed doors and have safe fun to yourself. Because for one, I know I didn't need to see any of that. It was so cringy. Like when I watched it, shake them titty, make it jiggle, shake them titty, make it jiggle. I was like, what is this? And then he just looked. He looks like he reeked of straight Hennessy and backwoods.
He definitely
The room looked like it smelled like musty backwoods and tequila asshole shots. That's what it looked like it smelled.
Yeah, it was definitely, he was enjoying himself. He lost his job, but his reaction to it, he put out a video, and his reaction to him losing his job.
And after that video, it kind of made me think, like, did he do that on purpose so he would get fired, or
that too.
I don't know.
Maybe he's at the point like he didn't want to. He just
have to represent under. Yeah, maybe
easy way to get out. He knew what he could do to get out, and he did what he did.
Right.
He got the boot. Maybe that's what he thought, but I can understand that he was working for any other company. It would be like a regular, day. You take him to the office, like, you can't do that. Give him a warning. But he worked for ESPN, Disney, Mickey. Mickey don't play that shit. PG, everything. Another funny thing, talking about strippers and with the culture, my man, the Usher box. No. Well,
so I think when I heard about it, I knew something had to be like not right about the story, because I know for years that Usher's known. He's from Atlanta. He spends money in the strip club on the regular. That's what he does. So I knew it had to be something with a promotion. And I also knew that he had a Vegas residency coming. So when the story came out and that girl was just looking for attention and was just trolling, because it was almost like, girl, like they wouldn't even allow him to come in the strip club and not spend any money and only throw fake money with his face on it. Like,
I'm pretty sure
you common sense.
He would have got locked up if that was the only money he threw. So I feel like the person. I don't know if that was part of the plan to stir up some controversies. The female.
I think she just wanted the followers and stuff like that, because they ended up coming out and saying like he actually spent mad money that was just promotional money that he had left there. So she probably was tight because she probably picked it up thinking, oh shit, he left mad bands right here. And then she was tight when she got it home, and then she realized that it was fake money. At the end of the day,
that's possible, but she did retract. She did say, I know.
And then she said, I didn't say that was all the money that he threw.
Yeah. So but when she first put the story out, everybody heard the story. She made it seem like Usher's out here throwing.
She was trying to go viral like the girl with the gorilla glue on her hair.
Oh, that's
you just did something just to say something to get people to follow you.
Hey, some people feel it's possible. In times you are in today, people definitely do certain things, and they definitely do the wildest things just for that, that like. You put that like, that view, people do some wild shit. That's definitely a fact. Clout is crazy. But there's a funny story of also going on.
I'll
Usher.
take some Ush Bucks. I used to love Usher, especially back in the day. I was obsessed with Usher. I had him all over my locker, all over my books. Like literally, I was like probably like 7 when maybe like 7 or 8 when My Way, the album came out. And I knew all the lyrics at 7 o'clock going to stop in my drop top. And I was singing it, and my dad used to be like, "What are you singing? You don't even know what you're talking about." And I loved Usher, probably up until high school. So, the Ush Bucks is like the least of his worries, because we've heard other rumors about him from the past that was a little worse than the Ush Bucks. So the Ush Bucks was just like one of those things I was like,
He had
this
that.
will pass over.
He had what you call the herpes scandal.
Yes, which I still don't want to believe, but we're gonna let it go. But 1 in 3, 1 in 3. That's all I'm gonna say. 1 in 3 people.
It's all speculation. Whatever happened with that? I don't even know. I think that just
He settled out of court.
Oh, he did.
That's why they said it might have been true.
I don't know. That's all speculation.
I don't know, but I won't never know.
With celebrities,
not personally.
You just gotta know with celebrities. Sometimes people talk about them because they're celebrities. They love to talk about them.
Right, and they just want to get money.
Sometimes
it's just strictly attention.
It's just strictly rumors. It has easy target. I'm gonna target this celebrity and see what I can get out of it.
Right.
So that's when it comes to accusations. Wait till all the facts come out. But I felt like that was one story that I felt like just faded, because when it came out, it was hot, and then
they retracted the statement. Yeah. They came out and like said it wasn't true. So.
So what's also going on? Yeezy. Yeezy got the most valuable. His sneaker is the most valuable sneaker of all time. It's past Jordans, and for the culture, how
dumb. Let's just start with that. Dumb. You see all these sneakers behind me, none of them mine. You saw all my man's sneakers, but he got all Jordans and Yeezys, all that, and I've never liked Yeezys. I only wore a pair of his 350s a couple times when my feet were swollen while I was pregnant, because it was the only comfortable shoe that could fit. But I don't know what the whole hype is. Like, all his shoes look like space shoes. Like, they look like astronaut, thug astronaut sneakers. That's what they are. For thug astronauts.
Yeezy got some fire. I can't front. Like,
I've seen a couple silhouettes that were okay, but for the most part, the ones that he's been coming out with, the slippers and all that stuff, trash. Straight astronaut thug footwear.
I don't know. I like Yeezys. I have 2 pairs of my own Yeezys. I think I'm making the switch, so that's the sneakers I'm gonna be buying from now on. I enjoy Yeezys, but I just think it's crazy that it hasn't been out that long for it to become the most valuable sneaker.
But that shows his influence, definitely.
Well, no, definitely influence.
Yeah.
That's still crazy to me. I thought that's something Jordan would hold for. Jordan's will hold for a while, especially growing up. It was Jordan this, Jordan that, but Yeezy doing his thing. And also on the flip side, like last week, his wife, well, soon to be ex-wife, has been recorded that she's actually a billionaire.
Oh well, I mean, we already knew she had money. She sells little pieces of her asshole on Craigslist, but yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we already knew they got money, so that ain't no news. And who cares? Because I ain't got none of her money, so she ain't giving me a piece. I don't care how much she got. But I love Adidas though. I've always liked Adidas. I'm more of an Ivy Park Adidas person, so I'll spend the extra bread on StockX for the sneakers or a dress like I did from Adidas Ivy Park collection. Well, not so much a Yeezy person, but
that's how you would have to get sneakers nowadays. It's almost impossible.
Yeah, like because I always miss
store or go to my line.
Yeah, so it's just like if I'm gonna wear Adidas and like a celebrity shoe, like it's definitely gonna be Ivy Park. Like I remember when Rihanna came out with her Pumas, I don't think I was really caring about those. They were kind of like clunky, and I've never really been a sneaker person until dating a sneakerhead. So that's why I just started. It's like, oh, okay, if I like a pair, I'll spend the extra bread to get it, on StockX or whatever. But yeah, but I mean that's good for them. Good for Kanye and their family and their kids that they got all that money, because they're gonna need it. All them kids that they got.
Well, damn, they both. No, that's crazy. Kanye's a billionaire and she's a billionaire. A lot of money between the two, but a lot of money. They could divorce. They don't even gotta split everything in half. They could just go their separate ways because they both have enough money to, they'd be set. Oh, Trent,
Um,
the last thing. The last thing you mentioned on
okay.
the Quavo and Sweetie situation. You want to touch on that? So
Oh, okay, yeah. So let's talk about my girl Saweetie. Even though I know it's pronounced Sweetie, I like saying the whole name out. Saweetie. Her and her boo Quavo, they recently broke up, and there was okay. So this is in order of me getting the information. Here comes the shade. Okay, so first it was she did an interview on her ex's show,
so
Justin and LA
Justin,
Boy Justin or something like that, right?
it's Justin.
Basically, it's a show like oh cute toxic conversation about toxic relationships and stuff like that. So I didn't even realize and put it together that that's her ex until somebody else pointed it out, and I was like, oh shoot, that is her ex, right? So then when I saw that, and it kind of seemed like they were giving a vibe like she was single now because it was very much a little flirty, right? And then I'm like, okay, but it could also just be for entertainment because they are entertainers, right? Then it comes out that they're breaking up, which who knew that was gonna happen? I mean, like you should know when you're dating a rapper that he's gonna cheat. I mean, not to say that she deserved that because she definitely don't.
Well,
Nobody does, but I feel like
celebrity
it's one of those things like niggas already cheat, so it's like if he got money and bitches, he's gonna cheat too. So
if you get the status, it's gonna be more coming your way.
either that or you're gonna have to do it together. So if you're not gonna do it with him, you can't beat him, Jordan, them kind of thing. Okay, so that's that. Then it came out somebody was, which I feel like is a whoever's the asshole that released the surveillance tape had to be somebody that worked there. But it was basically just a tape of them like going back and forth in the elevator. Now everybody first came out and was like, "Oh, he hit her, he hit her." In my opinion,
At first glance, it did look crazy, but when I
because
rewatched
they
it,
edited and left parts out. So it looked like he was trying to get his bag back and leave, and that she was trying to keep him. You know, like every couple, even if you're not physically fighting, you go through those little scuffles, like, oh, like give me my stuff or whatever. You know, like the childish, immature, like things that y'all do when y'all have an argument or whoever's right or wrong. At the end of the day, stuff like that happens, and nobody put their hands on nobody. I think they just try to always blow things out of proportion and blame the black man before anything even, really you'd have all the facts. And she never said that she was being abused. She said, at least not physically, she probably was being emotionally abused and mentally abused because she was being manipulated and cheated on. But at the end of the day, I don't think he was putting his hands on her. So I mean, she's mad little too. Like we would
when
see
I
that.
first see the video, it looked like he put her to the ground, but when you rewatch it, she like
Flung herself into it. Was almost like they were,
it
you
was
know what I'm saying?
like
Like
he didn't
hustling.
he didn't
Like
forcefully
get her off of me kind of thing. Right.
she went down.
But she actually swung on him when I saw the rest of the
If that's
like with the bag, she like just tried to hit him. You know what I'm saying? It was more like like I said, they were like having like it was almost like that high school play fight. Oh, we're mad at each other, tussle type of thing, and it was like just looked immature more than anything.
Yeah,
So
but all first glances look crazy, but it obviously it wasn't a lingering issue because the footage comes out. It's funny how life works. It happened months ago. They were still together, still doing things after the fact. They break up, and then someone drops that. Someone probably slipped that to
yeah,
TMZ for the
and I
check.
think it also you gotta remember. I also thought about it too. Whoever released that could have got paid to release it. She could have leaked it herself because they also be doing stuff just for the clickbait, just to get. Listen, think about it. Her album just dropped. Her album just dropped. Her stuff could be part of her rollout. That's almost like the thing that people do now. They're roll out for their albums and their whatever they're promoting. They stir up some controversy, whether it's good or bad. They stir up some kind of like something for people to talk about. So then it's like, oh, it's the same thing as clickbait. You're gonna look up her name. It's gonna pop up her music too. So it's like, you know what I mean?
That definitely believable.
Yeah.
Definitely believable.
And now, no offense to any victims of domestic violence, whether that be man or woman, woman or man, nobody's supposed to hit nobody. So whether he hit her, she hit him, or any other general relationship issues that people go through, you're not supposed to put your hands on nobody. So I don't want nobody to think I was trying to gaslight her.
Or
Right.
But yeah, that's facts. Your hands shouldn't go on nobody. That's how it's supposed to be. Man,
Right.
woman, hands supposed to stay to yourselves.
If anything, which is still not good, I might have just tossed his bag over the rails or something. Don't bother people's property either, but it's better to do that to their property than to their actual body. So if you gotta burn the sneakers, girl, you burn the sneakers. Okay, so Let's move on to
some unfortunate events in this past. Well, that's come out in this past week. You know,
yeah,
some real world stuff that's taking place in this week. So we have the
continued police brutality.
obviously, you know, the trial
Black
uh
Lives Matter.
for the trial for George Floyd is going on. There should be we
The
should know
verdict is
a
going to come
verdict.
out
Yeah, this
within
by
right today.
by most likely tomorrow. Now I feel like they
Right.
adjourned, but tomorrow, early tomorrow, Wednesday, there
By the
should be a
time
verdict.
this airs, the verdict will be out.
So yeah. By the time this airs, the verdict will be out. I think it's gonna go the way people think it's gonna
Usually
go. I think
goes.
well, he should be guilty. He is guilty, but I think that's where it's gonna go.
Yeah,
But,
we know how the system works, and it's against us and for them,
but
by them, for them.
we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I think we'll see a guilty verdict whenever this verdict is released. But no, that's
Yeah. So before I
also.
speculate any further, hopefully we get what we it's either way, there's still no real justice because we can't bring the people that have been taken from us back.
Mhm.
But
That's a
at
start.
least
You
it's
know,
less of a spit in the face when the person who's done what they done doesn't pay for it. You know what I mean? It's like at least if they go and they actually have to go and give up their lifetime of their life for what they've done, it'd be less of a spit in the face. That's all I mean, you know?
the fact that the system, as long as the system shows like you know you fucked up, now you got to do what you did because you fucked up. What you did was wrong. Serve your time.
So
If that happens more,
going back to what I was saying about exposing yourself. So being that there is so many back to back people that are being killed by people under power, I try not to expose myself to too much. So when I do see, sometimes I don't read the articles or I don't let myself listen to the news to know what's going on because it's almost like I'm becoming numb to things and I don't want to. So some people that we can say their names, rest in peace to Dante Wright and Adam Toledo.
mm-hmm.
If I said that right?
Adam Toledo, Adam Toledo was the 13-year-old boy that was killed by the police in Chicago.
Which is sad. That's like literally a baby. Like he was clearly a child. Like he didn't even look like a teenager. He was a little boy. So rest in peace.
What
And
RP to both of them, yes, definitely.
yeah, and Dante Wright, I believe, was the 20-year-old, still the baby, who just had a baby.
Still got
now
life,
that
still life to live, so a long
right, and now his child would never get to know his dad. And you know that's the unfortunate thing is that it's unfortunate for any person who's obviously not even they're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. But you know, we see how they escort people who shoot up schools and shoot up grocery stores and et cetera, et cetera. We see how they get treated with they make it through a whole trial before they, you know what I'm saying, nothing happens to them. They don't get shot. They actually get to go and serve time if they don't get off at all. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if you can't restrain without using deadly force, or if you're a scary ass cop, then you're in the wrong profession. You don't need to be doing that. Because if you're that scary and you mix up your gun and your taser and all this other stuff, it's just too much. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot.
The fact that they use that as an excuse was
no, the fact that they come up with these lies that are so like provable of like bullshit, it's like blatant bullshit, is what I mean by the spit in the face.
No,
and then when it's like, oh well, you know, this person's also not going to serve time. That's a spit in the face.
How blatant they are with that. You know, the fact that they came out like the day later, she thought it was like that. That's what they put out. It obviously I believe the chief that came out the next day said that he believed that when he brought out the excuse, he resigned, and obviously the officer that shot him, they both resigned after. That's what.
But still, resigning is not enough. The same way they put people on paid leave or transfer them, fire them, and still go get another job in another city. Like at the end of the day,
she was arrested. I don't know if she made bail now, but she was definitely arrested and charged.
But what I'm saying, not just this specific situation, but you know what I mean, is like it happens a lot where they do not actually serve time or they don't get charged. And
majority of the time they do get charged, but it just, you know,
right, nothing, they get acquitted or whatever, right? So it's like you know, it's just a constant thing that you have to protect yourself from mentally and emotionally, because these are all triggering things, like sometimes I'll wake up in a great mood and then I open Instagram and then something's just like,
Nah,
damn,
I feel
again
you. That's
today.
definitely shit sad.
Yeah.
Especially, both. I watched both videos. Both videos is fucked up videos. All the videos when they finally released them, like the police officers body cam when those footages come out, they're
Mm-hmm.
all fucked up. Hard to watch, but it's just like damn,
Yeah.
in the midst of everything that's going on, you would think like shit was slow, like start to, with the whole shit in Minnesota, George Floyd situation, and the other situations prior to that, like shit was slow, like at least change, where to the point where we're not waking up in the
But
morning
this
to hear
race
about
war is part of the whole plan. So that's a whole nother situation. You feel me? But if you know anything about history, you would know what police came from. Police were made, and the whole thing for was to catch runaway slaves. So if that's where you were made from, and that's what you were founded on, and that's what your foundational purpose is, then it doesn't change because time has changed. The uniform changes, the faces have changed, but they're the same color, they're the same family line, they're the same
same
everything.
principles and everything.
Right, exactly. And I've seen recent pictures of whole graduated academy police that have literally holding up Nazi symbols and stuff. And this today, like, you know what I mean? Like now, this is still a thing. So at the end of the day, like, what do we really expect from people who are, you can't expect anything else from a wolf but to be a wolf at the end of the day. You feel me? So, and not to say there's no good cops, because I know personally know a few good cops actually, but the same thing with Black people or people of color, how they put everybody in a group, it's how's it any different? Like, it's kind of hard to decipher who's good and who's not when that's what you're constantly seeing. So if they're constantly portraying people of color one way, it's almost like it is our job to show something different. This just like if we see what's happening with the bad police constantly, it's the good cops' jobs to say something during those times. It's a good cop's job to speak up. It's a good cop's job to intervene and to use their voice and their platform and their power to make a difference in a positive way. So I don't give anybody a pass, anybody an excuse, because at the end of the day, we all have a voice. So,
hopefully one day, we could wake up and all this will be in the past. All this, constant, he was, unarmed, killed by the authorities. And
well,
it's gonna be a
hopefully,
slow
I doubt I'll
progress,
be here to see it, but hopefully our grandchildren will be here to see it.
Slow progress, but hopefully change comes and news like this becomes more rare instead of something that's always.
But definitely rest in peace to everybody who's lost their life at the hands of police brutality or racism or bigotry, sexism, homophobia, anything. People die every day for reasons that could be avoided, for reasons that they shouldn't. So, just gotta, like I said, you gotta have gratitude and appreciate all the small things.
Heal the hate in people's hearts.
Right.
Hopefully that.
And when you can't kill them with kindness, then you get a gun license. A little about me. A little about me. So let's actually talk about real quick, me and you. So we're friends from college. We went to Berkeley and White Plains, and it was like 13th grade, but it was still awesome. And we made really good, close friendships that I believe are lifelong, going to be lifelong. Because we met maybe almost 10 years ago now, and here we are. So
that's crazy.
Definitely, that's where technically the podcast is stemmed from, and our friends Dev and everybody else in the culture capsule. Wow, that is a tongue twister. Culture capsule. Shout out to everybody, all the Berkeley fam, alumni, those of us who took 7 years to graduate, it's okay. As long as you got that degree, girl, you good. But yeah. And so a little bit more about me. I do Risa Rants, hashtag Risa Rants, which season 2 is coming, which is just me, Risa, ranting as usual, which is kind of the same thing. So this is obviously awesome to actually have somebody else to interact with. So I'm glad, you guys came up with this idea and we worked it out. And yeah, I'm a new mom, kind of new. I guess he's kind of new. He just turned 1, my son. So definitely experiencing motherhood in a different way now since there is Corona, but it's almost like I said, like a blessing in disguise. I've had more time with him, definitely more time to bond. We got a new place and I'm just really in a happy space, and it's quiet and peaceful, and I'm just trying to keep my chakras aligned and all that good stuff, and just growing as a person. Started a new company, my business, Melanated Moss. Follow us on IG for your fresh golden sea moss and purple sea moss. 92 of 102 minerals your body needs to function correctly. Clean all of that nasty mucus out, open up that third eye, decalcify your glands, okay? And definitely just been growing as a person and trying to learn and protect my energy, like I said, from everything that's negative around us, and just constantly push love and positivity and light in to anybody I'm around and anything that I do. That's really the whole purpose. That's the whole theme of I is
Spotlight.
just to positive.
I'm glad to have you join us do this. Obviously, if you don't know me, you just know me soon. I do the OSA with 5 of my guys. We do the OSA. Me and my boy Dev and Drew, DQ. We run Coach Capsule. We do the Coach Capsule.
Gang.
So we're trying to produce new content, and the ASO is a new pod that we're trying to, give it to people. Obviously, like we said in the beginning, it's a pod that we have that we're gonna talk about everything. We're just giving our perspective. Everybody has their perspectives, so we give our perspective.
Another shitty opinion.
Yeah, so hopefully you vibe out with us and enjoy. We trying to go up. That's all I said. Go up, get us a following, vibe out.
Definitely. And also, hubby has started his sneaker line. So the sneakers behind me now have a purpose, because they're not just here for show. And we're actually putting the passion of sneaker love into a way to make a profit. So, yeah, definitely shout out to what kicks you wearing today. And the sneakers dropping soon. That's super dope, because, definitely the urge and the surge to support Black owned businesses has been a thing now, which I love, because our dollar runs the country. Believe it or not, we spend the most of anybody. So why not put it into ourselves? Why not invest in ourselves and each other and support each other? And that starts with, even if you're not spending $1, you can share, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, like you should do for this podcast as well. Yeah. But yeah, once again, shout out to what kicks you today. Right, exactly. And just go check us out. You know what I'm saying? And the sneaker drops May 29th. The first Berg green, because he's from Greenberg, play on words. Tree of Life. So, and then the red ones are coming out. And we've got a whole bunch of cute colorways coming out. Got something for the ladies, a little mauve that's gonna be coming out soon. Gum bottoms. I know y'all like some gum bottoms. We're gonna do the translucent. We got the kid sizes. We got all of that. You feel me? So yeah. So we just got a lot going on. So that's me.
There you go. And that's Spotlight on the ASO, another shitty opinion, Spotlight. We transition to the last topic. It's another real topic that we're going to talk about. Obviously, we're going to talk, casually touch on addictions. Obviously, we lost a very great artist recently, and he had addiction trouble. So we're just going to have, chat about addictions in general and how it affects the people, and especially celebrities, because for the most part, throughout the history of entertainment, celebrities had their troubles. People in general have their troubles. So we're just gonna casually have chat about.
I think when you're in a Hollywood life, as they say, and the entertainment world, it's way easier to get addicted to many different things because you're exposed to so much. So that could just that doesn't always have to just be substance. That could be a sex
That's
addiction.
definitely true. It's
That
a
could
lot
be
more
some
addictions.
people just have a spending addiction, gambling addiction.
I
It
would
could
say
be
gambling
anything.
is one of the biggest addictions
Yeah.
out there, you know?
And what it comes down to is addiction is just a coping mechanism. Until you deal with the root problem and where it stems from, addiction is always going to be there. And then even then, when you're especially in recovery as a person who's addicted to a substance, it's a lifelong process of recovery and getting over. And it's one of those things where it all comes down to your mental. You got to take care of your mental health so that way you can avoid being vulnerable to addictions of any sort. Like I used to have a food addiction. I still love food. I love some ice cream, but addictions could be of any kind.
No, that's definitely all different types of addictions, and obviously when it comes to entertainers, especially celebrities in general, I feel like once you reach a certain status, you get some funds. If you already have that addiction, it just puts everything like more like it's like everything increases like on the
Right. It's right in front of you.
it's
Everything
more
is like
accessible. So it's like
right. It's
you
always like being
gamble.
pushed on you,
Mhm.
and now not just people in Hollywood, just but regular people. It's in everything. It's in music. It's in movies, TV. You see constantly just people using substances. Whether it be alcohol, drugs, whatever. So, and I've always felt that it was like on purpose in a way. Obviously, same thing like to cigarettes and stuff like kills people. People That's an addiction. People know that it's
People
killing
addicted
them.
to
They continue
cigarettes,
to do
that's
it.
an addiction, yeah.
So right, and it's like they even put like heroin and stuff like that in painkillers and give it to children that have like broken arms and broken legs and stuff, and then those people end up becoming opioid addicted.
Don't say
You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's a lot to avoid and maneuver around, because even if you are a regular person, it's easy to become uh, a victim of being vulnerable to different substances.
sometimes it's just the circumstances that you're in and
Right.
goes.
Like watching Snowfall, I realized how like I see, like people were so lackadaisical about things, and then oh yeah, what's this new thing, and then now the whole neighborhood's crackheads. But
But
that's how it starts.
yeah, that's
And
how it starts.
where
Definitely.
is it coming from? Open your third eye.
One thing I could say is drug with the drugs part of addiction, like substances addictions. How's that shit still coming in after years and all the shit that done happened? How's that shit
The same
still
way it
coming
always
in?
came in.
No, the one thing I could say is, criminals are clever, they are smart, but at this point, like, what are you
They ain't
doing
that smart.
that they haven't put on TV for the whole world to see, and you still getting away with smuggling all that shit in here? But that's one thing about substances. It's still finding its way in here, but addiction is something that troubled the world. But
Some people have addictions to social media. Like I have to tell
yeah,
myself sometimes get off my phone, because it's almost like instant reaction. Even sometimes when I wake up, I open my phone and I'm like on Instagram and I'm like, yo, I didn't even pee. Like, what am I doing? So it's also sometimes like so you're so into it before you realize, and you have to pull yourself out. You know what I'm saying? So it could be the slightest thing could become a big thing. You know what I mean? So you just have to be a person that's monitoring what's good for your intake, whether that be if you are doing drugs, what kind of drugs you doing, and how often you doing it, why are you doing it, how do you feel before you do it, when you do it, after you do it. So it's like, same thing with social media. Like people get FOMO and they be addicted to Instagram, and you know what I'm saying? So it's like you just have to monitor yourself, and you have to know yourself. And if you don't know yourself, then you're gonna take on to anything, because you know
definitely
what I
touched
mean?
on it. Clout is probably one of the news. Like this, I feel like it's always been an
Definitely an
addiction
addiction.
of people chasing, craving attention. But with social media, it's just like clout chasing is on steroids. There we go. That's what I was trying.
Yeah,
Like it's like on
exactly.
steroids. It's
For
like
real.
social media is clout. It makes like steroids now because it's like you post everything, just what people are willing to do just for that like and that view.
Right, exactly.
It's gotten out of hand, but yes, that's what I was trying to say. But yeah, addictions, one of the tough ailments that us everyday people, celebrity or not, have to deal with.
Right now, I'm addicted to my healing crystals because I cannot stop buying healing crystals. But so that's a positive addiction in a way. Maybe not because I keep spending money, but I'm gaining something positive from it. So that's my way around that. And you see, an addict will find a way around it. You see?
God bless everyone who struggle that's dealing with addictions, no matter what addiction it is.
Yeah,
Pray
definitely.
for
Our
you and
hearts
wish
go
you
out.
the best. And that's another
Stay strong.
shitty opinion.
That's right.
And
Yay!
I guess that's a wrap on the first episode. So